Byron Katie.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to today's Caffeine for the Soul. And if you like the kinds of things that I talk about in these podcasts each week, check out the free basic course in the Inside Out Understanding at michaelneill.org/basic course. And this week I want to talk about 3 different words that we could use to point to acceptance of what is. And each one is a little bit more challenging than the one before. And the fundamental question, kind of before you get into whether am I going to accept this, am I going to embrace this, am I going to enjoy this, is why do we care about what is? Well, at the risk of saying something that sounds obvious, what is. What isn't. And we suffer in our lives both from trying to make what isn't into what is, trying to make things the way they should be instead of the way that they are, but also by fighting against what is, by trying to tell the universe that well, it shouldn't be the way that it is. And Werner Erhard, the founder of EST and the Forum and one of the sort of early leaders in the personal development movement from the 1970s, he used to say, if you want to know how powerful your opinion is, go outside on a starry night and look up at the stars and tell the universe how it should be different. And when you wake up in the morning, see whether or not it's actually any different. And he was pointing to the fact that what is, and what isn't. And that doesn't mean things can't change, but that does mean they are the way they are. And when we accept that, things go better. But the problem is the word acceptance has come to mean putting up with. It's kind of grudging. It's like, no, right. I guess I'll just have to put up with the fact that I'm not as fit as I used to be, that I just have to put up with the fact that I'm ugly. I just have to put up with the fact that life sucks. And so it's sort of, it's a sort of a bleak prospect. It's almost like admitting defeat. All right, I accept that I lost and life won again. Now, by way of contrast, anything that we could accept in that kind of grudging way, we can also embrace. We can hug it to our bosom. We can cleave it unto ourselves. Werner Erhard again used to do an exercise where he would hold up 2 imaginary ice cream cones to a participant and he would say, vanilla or chocolate, choose. And they would choose whatever they choose. And then he'd do it again, vanilla or chocolate, choose. And they would choose whichever one they chose. And then at one point he would just start holding up 1 imaginary ice cream cone and going, chocolate, choose. And people would go, chocolate. Or if they preferred vanilla, they'd go, well, I don't want chocolate. Chocolate, choose. Well, I like strawberry. Chocolate, choose. And at some point, everybody chose the chocolate. And the point was, what is, and what isn't. And if we embrace that, we can work with it so much more easily. We create so much less internal stress and struggle. We can still go for what we want, but we start with what we actually have. And embracing that, making that a good thing, choosing what is, allows us to thrive. It allows us to function at a much higher level, which points to the 3rd level of acceptance, which is enjoyment. What if you could not just accept it, not even just embrace it, but what if you could enjoy what is? What if by the very fact that it exists, it was possible to be with something in joy? And people sometimes say when I say stuff like that, well, how could you enjoy somebody you love dying. And actually, I know so many people who say that being with a loved one when they were dying was one of the most beautiful experiences that they've ever experienced. I sometimes think this is a silly example because it was a dog, not a human. But our first family dog was a Springer Spaniel Rottweiler mix named Mishka. And Mishka was just the perfect family dog, and all the kids grew up with Mishka. And when it came time for Mishka to go, it happened. Some of the kids were already away at university, but everyone happened to be home that weekend, and so we decided to see, well, look, let's make this Mishka's best day ever. And so we all picked out her favorite treats. Got her a Big Mac from McDonald's. Got her some. I know it's terrible for dogs, but it was her last day on Earth. We got her cookies. We got her all the things that she liked that she used to have to steal, and then we took her to her favorite park. And she could barely walk, but she, you could tell she liked being there. She did her little bizarre dance in the water bowl that she used to always do at that park. And we lay with her on a blanket, and everyone pet her and played with her while she ate her Big Mac. And then we took her to the vet, and we all held her paws and stroked her when they gave her the injection. And we just stayed with her until she wasn't with us anymore. And we all kind of came away from that sad, but also with just one of the most beautiful, enjoyable memories of a beautiful, enjoyable day. And it's not to say you should enjoy what is, or you have to enjoy what is, or you're bad if you don't enjoy what is. But knowing that you could not just accept what is, not just embrace what is, but actually let yourself be in joy with it. Enjoy it. Opens up a different way of being in life than most people have ever allowed themselves to experience. It's almost like we have this idea that good people feel bad when bad things happen. I remember, in fact, when my dad died, he was killed in a car accident when I was 24. And he was, at the time, I thought, the ripe old age of 66. I thought, well, he's had a good life. And now as I start to approach my 60s, I'm going, oh, my God, he was so young. But, when you're in your early 20s, that seems old. But I remember when he died, I was devastated. I loved my dad. But over time, I started to enjoy my life again. And I'd feel so bad about enjoying my life that I'd find ways to make myself miserable so I could be a good person. So I found for me, it worked really well to remind myself that he'd never get to see me make it and he'd never get to see his grandkids. And that was guaranteed to pull some tears out of me and make me feel bad so I could feel good. Well, I get it, but that's just kind of cute. Like, you don't become a better person by feeling bad. And so while, again, you don't have to put pressure on yourself to enjoy what is if it's not something you would have chosen. And look, there's always going to be parts of what is that you did not choose. If you allow yourself to be in joy, to enjoy what is, you will find life flows effortlessly, and you get to ride that flow instead of fighting upstream and trying to push the river in the direction that you think it should go. Have fun, learn heaps, happy exploring, and I'll talk with you soon.